Assalamu alaikum, everyone. My deepest condolences to the Imam of our time, Imam Mahdi, and all of you on the beginning of the month of Muharram, but it is now the 2nd of Muharram. I would like to invite Brother Jawed Qalandarzada to begin the program with the recitation of the Quran. Please recite a loud salawat for Brother Jawed.
جزاكم الله خير. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إذا السماء انفطرت وإذا الكواكب انتثرت وإذا البحار سجرت علمت نفس ما قدمت وأخرت يا أيها الإنسان ما غرك بربك الكريم الذي خلقك فسواك فعدلك في أي صورة ما شاء ركبك كلا بل تكذبون كلا بل تكذبون بالدين وإن عليكم لحافظين كراما كاتبين يعلمون ما تفعلون كراما كاتبين يعلمون ما تفعلون إن الأبرار لفي نعيم وإن الفجار لفي جحيم يصلونها يوم الدين وما هم عنها بغائبين ثم ما أدراك ما يوم الدين يوم والأمر يومئذ لله ثم ما أدريك ما يوم الدين يوم لا تملك نفس لنفس شيئا والأمر يومئذ لله صدق الله العلي العظيم. اللهم ربنا يا ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم واهدنا إلى الحق وإلى طريق مستقيم ببركة آياتك الكريم واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Jazakallah, Brother Jawed, for that beautiful recitation. I would like to play a recording now from poet Abbas Muhammad about the Imam. There are some technical difficulties, but now I would like to invite our respected scholar, Maulana Sayyid Hadi Yassin, to give his speech on the topic, Nothing But Beauty. Please recite aloud salawat.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا حبيب قلوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا وشفيع ذنوبنا أبو القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين واللعنة الدائمة على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى لقاء يوم الدين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. All together inshallah. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين الصلوات على محمد وآل محمد. Brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. May Allah inshallah accept our prayers, our a'mal, our du'as, our mourning and azah for Ahlul Bayt inshallah, and specifically for Imam al-Hussein alayhi salatu wassalam, and give us tawfiq and register our names among the true followers of Imam inshallah. Alhamdulillah, we have the tawfiq to attend another majlis, second day of month of Muharram, majlis of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salatu wassalam. Now that in this situation, we're having virtual majalis, we have to keep in mind that in the regular time, we will all get together in one location, in a masjid, in a center, in Azarkhana, in Husseiniya, and we would do matam and have majalis for Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wassalam. Last Ramadan, I got a lot of feedbacks from a lot of people that telling me it was an interesting and amazing experience that they had first time in their lives, in the entire life of them so far, that they experience a very spiritual Ramadan because of the family being together and going through the a'mal of Ramadan, the fasting and the majalis together, the a'mal of Night of Qadr together. And it was an interesting experience for them. First time maybe, the whole family doing the matam next to each other. I mean, the a'mal of Qadr next to each other. Now we are in month of Muharram. Now we're in this situation. We have the opportunity, and a mu'min is the one who will find opportunities within the bottom and the heart of threats and calamities. You see that the message of Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam, in the middle of the calamity and musibah and azah, look at the positive side of Ashura and Muharram, the message of Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam that is shining throughout the history, and it will be alive inshallah ila yawm al-qiyamah. You see Imam Sajjad alayhi salatu wasalam after Ashura, with that strict supervision and limitation that they made, that Bani Umayyah made for him, he found opportunity within threat. What did he do? He spread out the messages of Islam, the messages of Quran and Shia through du'as. Different Imams, different ways. Imam Baqir, Imam Sadiq, different ways that they had. They found opportunities all the time. Now that we have this situation, we can make the opportunity out of it by making each of our houses the Azarkhana and the Husseiniya for Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wassalam. We can make it a specific situation that every single house now, it is Husseiniya. Before, we have only one specific center, for example, that we were attending. But today, we can have a lot of center and a lot of majalis in different houses. I found a beautiful, someone just sent me the, one of the scholars, hadith from Imam Sadiq alayhi salatu wassalam. Look at the hadith. Imam Sadiq says, من علق ألعما أسودا على باب داره أو سطح بيته في أيام عزاء جدي الحسين صلوات الله عليه دعت له ولأهله أمنا فاطمة صلوات الله عليها صباحا ومساء. Subhanallah. The one who puts a black flag at the door of his house at the time of the Aza and the Musibah and Majalis of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam. Imam Sadiq says, my grandfather, Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, or put it on top of his house for him and for his family. And Imam says, Ayal, that means the family, the wife of the family. My mother, Zahra, salamullah alayha, would pray every day and every night. Subhanallah. Just putting one black flag or the name of Imam al-Hussein, something somewhere on top of the house or the wall of the house, outside somewhere that they see, we are in the Aza of our Imam and our leader, Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam. Sayyida Fatima salamullah alayha will pray for this person every day and every night. By what? Just putting, just showing the slogan that we have, just showing the way that we wear the black clothing, brothers and sisters. When we go out, what happened all of a sudden when you see other people see you, you have the black shirts, black clothing all the time. What's going on? This is the majlis of Aza. By making our houses the majalis of Aza and of Ahlul Bayt, inshallah. So that will be a special opportunity. That will be a special tawfiq and time for all of us to be able to take advantage of this time. Now your house is a masjid, is a center, is Husseiniya. Now your families are the reciters of majalis of Imam al-Hussein. We are just initiating this, but you are the one who make your house, inshallah, a place for Aza of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salatu wassalam, with the barakat of salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. We're going to follow, inshallah, the topic that we started, the topic that is related to the qiyam and the uprising of Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam, the importance of that, the characteristics of it, the personality of the uprising of Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam, the personality of Imam Hussein and his companion, the characteristics of those people who stood in front of Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam. We mentioned one of the reasons Imam Hussein's qiyam and uprising is alive today. That's why we call it alive, because it's not dead, because we are practicing it. Many people are practicing it. One of the reasons is because of the characteristic and the personality traits of those people who stood with Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam and supported him. One of the reasons that the Ashra becomes so famous among everyone, and every nation and culture and people look at the Ashura and they get messages and benefit from Ashura, is the characteristics of the enemies of Imam Hussein. Are you sure? Yes, because they look at the characteristics of those savage, bloodthirsty people and they see that, wow, how horrible can be someone to do all those jinayats and all those, issues and corruptions that they had. And they can resonate to see a lot of people at this time are the same. We always say the confrontation of these two groups, the confrontation of ilm and jahl, the confrontation of iman and kufr, faith and disbeliefs, the confrontation of, let's say, religiosity and no deen and kufr. It was from that time, before that time, from the beginning of the world, and it is today, and it will be ila yawm al-qiyamah, to the end of the world. We see this confrontation. On one side is haqq truth, is piety, is righteousness, is iman, is religiosity. On the other side is kufr, darkness, ugliness. On one side is beauty, on one side is ugliness, with the true meaning of the beauty and ugliness. It's obvious, it's clear. That's why today people feel that, resonate that, feel the similarity between the time of Imam Hussein throughout the time, throughout this 1,442 years until now. People felt that they can feel the same situation in the current time. The personality and characteristics of both groups are important for people. Both personalities are important for people. We're going to talk a lot about this. These two groups, who they were, what kind of people we're talking about, and what we can get from it. Let me take you from this side. When we say there's nothing but beauty, when Zainab sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Zainab mentioned that, what is she talking about? When we pay attention, we see that between our mental well-being, mental status, and our behaviors, there are strong correlation, significant correlation. You see that someone who is mentally have some issues, the behavior of this person is in trouble. The behavior is not synced and according to the mental health status. This person has some issues. It's clear, right? If someone has OCD, if someone has anxiety, if someone has depression, you see the behavior of that person changes accordingly. I'm going to say, when you see the spiritual well-being is in trouble, when someone's spirituality is not in a good status, this person's behavior is more significantly and more directly affected than mental health issue. Matter of fact, we're talking about this intertwined. We're talking about the same concept that, in fact, the mental health, it's partially is the spiritual health that person can have. For example, if you see someone that is a timid person, very scary, all the time scared of something, as soon as see something scary or fearful, is always fearful, everything for him, right? For her, doesn't matter. This person's behavior, it's so cowardly. Everything can make this person scared and might leave or dodge some of the responsibilities that they have, and they behave accordingly. Someone who is brave, if I tell you to mention some of your friends who are brave, you see that person is so brave. All personality aspects, all behavior, all are, based on the bravery of that person. Do you get my point? Is based on that person's personality. So when you look, you see that bravery can be a mental status or mental traits, personality traits. But what I'm going to say is that it is indeed before that is a spiritual trait that someone can have. We see that in our traditions talk about shaja'ah. One of the traditions says as-sabru shaja'ah. Being patient is actually bravery. This is to the point and deepest level of that. Look at this. The one who has iman, the actions and the behavior of this person is different based on the level of the iman of that person. The one who doesn't have iman, or the iman of that person is not strong enough, the behavior of that person will be different. I'm talking about today's life, brothers and sisters. The behavior are different. I'm going to take you, we're going to go back and forth a lot to 61st of Hijri, 10th of Muharram, and come back today in the August of 2020. We're going to go back and forth a lot to get a lot of messages and lessons and ibrah and teachings from that time and bring them to our time, inshallah. Look at the companion of Imam Hussein and the opposite side on the other side. Look at those who their spiritual health is a very great level. Their spiritual well-being, which is a mental well-being from this perspective, is in a great perspective. How they iman, it's so strong, and they sacrifice themselves and everything they have for the sake of their values and belief system. That is confidence. That is self-esteem. On the other side, we have multiple groups of people. One group are those people who are so weak in their spiritual well-being, are in trouble with a little bit of threats and being threatened by Ibn Ziyad and Bani Umayyah. They leave their personality, they leave their spirituality, they leave their iman, they leave their values, they leave their aqaid and beliefs, and they go to the wrong side. Not confident enough about their beliefs, not having highest self-esteem at the moment. Some other people, we see that how they are, they can bribe them with money and personality of them. They can change their personality and Bismillah, they will go leave Imam Hussein. Some other people, because of the position, because of the maqam of dunya, I'm going to make you the governor of Ray Umar al-Sa'ad, and he goes against his beliefs and against Imam Hussein. We see this two personality. Today, let's come back today. It's the same way. Some people, inshallah, like you guys, their personality and self-esteem and confidence is at the level, the mental and spiritual health is at the level that what they do is that strongly stay with the messages of Islam and the iman that they have and defend their beliefs, no matter what people are going to talk about them, how they want to talk about them, because the spiritual well-being is in a good status. They don't leave Islam because of the threats or money or some excuses. And there are some people, quote unquote Muslim, they're so scared and timid all the time. As soon as little threats comes from this side, they leave some other things from that side. Some of these tragedies have happened. For example, many people, we heard that it says, oh, be careful, hide that you're a Muslim, or so forth. We have to see what group we are. Look at this beautiful hadith from Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam, what he's saying. He's saying that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he left and he gave the affairs of a Muslim, actually a mu'min, to himself or to herself. They are responsible for their actions, whatever they want to do, follow here or there. It's up to you. You have free will, however you want to do. It's up to you. However, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not allow something for a mu'min to do, and that thing is that a mu'min cannot make himself or herself humiliated in front of others. Then our mom says, oh yeah, Quran, فَإِنَّ لِلَّهِ الْعِزَّةُ وَلِرَسُولِهِ وَلِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Izzah and honor belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Izzah and honor belongs to Rasulullah. Izzah and honor belongs to, and respect belongs to mu'mineen. You're not supposed to humiliate yourself. What is that makes you familiar to what? Reminded you of what? Imam Hussein's speech. He says, Hayhat min nadhillah. Far away from us, Ahlul Bayt, and the followers Ahlul Bayt, humiliation. Far away. Hayhat. We're not even close to humiliation. Death is sweeter to me than following the path of oppressors. And accept that. I don't want that. Inshallah, once we go through some of these speeches of Imam, which are very practical and very beneficial, inshallah, for us today. So you see that this goes back to the personality of the person. This goes back to the personal traits of this person, how strong they are when it comes to this, topics and messages. In psychology, we say that it is important the way that you receive personality, the way that your personality is shaped is through two different categories, nature and nurture. The genes that comes to you, your ancestors, their personality traits and their genes. Second, the environment that you have been raised in. We're going to go back to the 61st of Hijri. See what happened at that time, brothers and sisters. We're going to see the genes and the nature of those enemies of Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam, that what their parents did, that their children 10, 15, 30, 40 years, 50 years after that, their children stay in front of the Imam of their time and brutally murdered the Imam of their time. What happened? How is it even possible, these people? What kind of genes they have? What kind of personality they got from their parents, their ancestors, that they can do this horrible, brutal savages? What kind of personality, harmala, you have that you can shoot an arrow, the 3-hit arrow to the neck of a 6-month-old baby? What kind of personality bin Hajjaj did you have that you can put and hit the side of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salatu wassalam at the day of Ashura with the spears that you have? What personality, Shamr, you have that you can sit down on the chest of Imam al-Hussein and do something that you're not supposed to do? What and how? What is in your genes? What is in your background? Brothers and sisters, Islam is actually, the religiosity is very complicated. It's not as simple as we think, just being Muslim and mu'min and following. No, we're going to talk, inshallah, tomorrow more about this topic in tomorrow's lecture. But it's so, the Ashura, when you see that, how complicated is Ashura. The groups of people who come, the majority of them are, both sides are so famous in their life, in the city that they had. Some big names who became dhalil because of Ashura, of people of Kufa in the army of Yazid. Some people who are just regular people become aziz and honorable people, like the slave of Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wassalam. How is it even possible that happened? One of the ways that, according to our traditions, the nature side, the gene side will happen and change the people's personality is through luqmay haram. What you bring to your family, what you eat. Don't ask me, how is it? What is the correlation between me eating something and my personality change? Already? What is the correlation? I don't understand. Go ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what is the correlation between me physically eat something and that affects my spirituality, that affects my soul, which because of that affects my spiritual health, well-being, and my mental well-being and health. What is the correlation? But we know that for sure, that someone that purposely does that, it will affect themselves, it will affect the personality of the generation of that person. I'm talking to my younger friends. Specifically, your actions, your a'mal would affect your generation after you. If you're the one who you control yourself against unrighteousness, against those things that are against the recommendation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, tomorrow, not only yourself, your generation will be affected by that. And opposite, you will affect them as well. Look at this amazing hadith. Ahadith of Ahlul Bayt are amazingly, mixed with science and knowledge and facts. Imam Baqir said, if you want to pick a wet nurse for your baby, a daya for your baby, at that time, the mothers were giving the babies to wet nurses, to take care of them and give them milk. And anyhow, so if you want to find a wet nurse for your baby, make sure you find someone who has good akhlaq, husn khulq, and get away from the one who is a bad-tempered, wet nurse for the baby, because the personality traits are contagious and will be transferred to your baby. Subhanallah, how is it even possible? They're just giving milk to my baby, the personality goes to that person? God knows what he put in this, the rules and the codes in this nature, that how the effects of that goes back and forth. Yeah, we know certain things, that the behavior of certain people would affect us. We want to talk more in the environment aspects of it, how it happens. Go back to 61st of Hijri. What happened to these people? As I said, what kind of genes did they have that they can do all those janayat and bring those calamities and darkness and ugliness to the history of the world and human beings? Ashura is a piece of, from one side, shameful piece of history for human beings, brothers and sisters, not for Islam. From the ugliness of how ugly and horrible and savage insan and human beings can become. And on the other side is a side of beauty and iftikhar and honor for human beings, that this group of Imam Hussein and himself, it's a great trait that you see, that how insan can be strong and sacrifice themselves and his families and everyone for the sake of their beliefs. That's one side of it. That what we do today, if tomorrow there are going to be a group of people who are going to support Imam of Asr, inshallah, Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wassalam, there are those people who are our children, brothers and sisters. I think I'm almost positive and sure. The fathers and ancestors of the murderers of Karbala, they did not even think possibly one day their sons, one day their generations would stay in front of the son of Rasulullah and would behead the son of Rasulullah and his companions, Ahlul Bayt, brutally and savagely. That would be a shame for everyone. They didn't think about it. They were busy about working, business, blah, 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 going to school, whatever they were doing. And today, me and you, we're going to talk about this. One of the things we said is that Shia, they should learn about the history, make sure the history would not be repeated, the history of Ahlul Bayt, to be against Ahlul Bayt. One day, our children, brothers and sisters, we're going to be affected. Our children, our generation are those people, inshallah, that they're going to stay in front, staying at the side of Imam of As, Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam, and support him, or opposite, na'uzu billah, God forbidden, and stay against the Imam of the time. What am I saying? I'm saying because the hadith is saying that there are a group of people at the time of the zuhur of Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam, that these people are among those who were waiting for the zuhur of Imam of As, Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam. They were waiting for the zuhur of their Imam, and when the Imam comes, they stay against the Imam of their time. You know what that means? That's scary. That's similar to what happened to Ashra. That makes me be, more conscious about my behavior and my actions. That one thing about the jinns, the personality will be transferred. With other mental health issues, usually the psychologist, if someone has in the generation, mental health disability, depression, anxiety, I don't know, schizophrenia, all the things might be passed to the generation after. The second aspects, nurture, environment. Go back to the 1st of Hijri. What kind of environment these people were raised in, what kind of friendship they had, what kind of network that they had on the side of Imam Hussein والسلام, that they are so passionate and strong, and they became role models for everyone. We have examples. On the side of the nature and the genes, you see that Muslim ibn Aqil, the son of Aqil ibn Abi Talib, the majority of the children are all the companions of Ahlul Bayt, very passionately, strongly, and loyal to Ahlul Bayt, because the father was the same. We see that Ibn Aqil himself, Muslim, how he was in Kufa. Brothers and sisters, at the time the Muslim became Shaheed, nothing happened yet. Imam Hussein is still towards Kufa. He doesn't even know the Karbala is going to happen. He doesn't know what's going to happen. They're going to be against Imam Hussein. Everything is not that passionate yet. What makes Muslims so passionate and confident about the path of Imam Hussein والسلام, that he does not make himself humiliated? You know what happened to him is the personality of his children, Ibrahim and Muhammad, that they don't humiliate themselves, strongly stay with their beliefs and personality. On the other side, let me tell you what, the nature and the nurture. The sons of Umar bin Sa'd. Umar ibn Sa'd is what? Is the commander of the army of Yazid and Ibn Ziyad. The son of Umar ibn Sa'd in Karbala, he's a teenager. Pay attention carefully. The son of him, he's a teenager in Karbala. Look how horrible this teenager is. The personality of that horrible father, unrighteous father, it's going to be this. What? The Zuhr of Ashura, Imam Hussein is asking send someone to army of Umar al-Sa'd, give us time, we need to pray Salat al-Zuhr. Zuhr al-Nas, we have to pray. Shimr and Umar said they're talking to each other. Shimr said, one of them said, of course we have to give them the time to pray. Why? Because even if Majus, even if it's non-Muslim, they comes and tell us, give us a chance so we can pray, we'll give them the chance to pray. Of course, Hussein is Muslim. He's asking where we have to give them. Okay, so let's go give them the time to pray. The son of Umar ibn says, wait a minute. Father, you want to let Hussein to pray? We're fighting with him and we told our army that Hussein is not Muslim. Now you want them to pray in front of our army, so they're going to leave us. Look at how cunning, look at how ugly is this personality. A teenager, yes. And the father says, Umar says, wow, good job. I'm so proud of you. Yeah, we shouldn't let Hussein to pray. And then said the troops to, shoot arrows to Imam Hussein and his companion while they were praying. This is the taqabul of kufr and iman, the taqabul confrontation of kufr and iman, brothers and sisters. You see how kufr thinks? You see how kufr is cunning, how disbeliefs, how unrighteousness, how ugliness is cunning and thinking about wrong side. And look at the other side, the beautiful side. What kind of nature? What kind of nurture the son of Umar ibn Sa'd has? Bismillah, look at it. He was raised in the household of the commander of the army of Ibn Ziyad and Yazid. What do you expect from him? There are always some exceptions, by the way. We know that the son of Nuh on this side, on the other side, son of many other wrong people, that they were the commanders, the companions of Ahlul Bayt. We know this. There's some exception all the time. However, generally, that's what it is. Then I look at myself, my personality and traits. Where is it coming from? You see that usually, for example, if the parents are the leaders of the community, children become the leader and active and volunteers. If the parents are not into this thing, so the children are probably very away from these things, right? The story of Karbala is so complicated, brothers and sisters. When you look at it, you become so confused. How even is it possible? Usually one side is so clear on one side, the other side is against them, and their path and their culture is so clear. How is it even possible? We have the third group. One group, the side of Imam Hussein, 100% confidence, self-esteem, mu'min. We know that. The second group is what? Barbaric, bloodthirsty, against everything. Is okay, we know that as well. The third group, that they call themselves Muslim. The third group, that they invited the Imam of their time to come to Kufa to be their Imam and leader. When he comes, they stand in front of him and they want to kill him, and they killed him. It's almost never happened in history, something like that. The personality of some people is that, brothers and sisters, we're talking about the characteristics of righteous, the characteristics of dindaran, those people who are righteous, those people who are religious, those people who are believers, mu'min, and opposites, right? Not necessarily, not whoever is Muslim, whoever has deen, is not necessarily because they found Islam so worthy and amazing and with sincerity they're following it. No. I'm specifically saying it because of my younger friends. If you see some hypocrisy in the society and in the communities, I'm telling you, not every single Muslim around the communities of Islam are those who sincerely are Muslim. No. Some of them, they are Muslim because of the benefits. Some of them are Muslim because of their personal interests. Some of them are Muslim because of their just got used to it, because it's just well, so that's a culture. If you see some contradictions in the actions of some people, it's not that everyone are Muslim so because sincerely and with khulus niyat became Muslim. Then because of that, do not generalize their actions and behavior to the whole ummah of Islam and Islam's nation and society of Islam. What do you mean, Maulana? Do you have a proof from it? Yeah, Bismillah. Some people, I'm going to give you the proof. A lot of people, brothers and sisters, they left Medina with Imam Hussein to Mecca. And many people, they were with Imam Hussein from Mecca towards Kufa. The caravan of Imam Hussein was not only 72 people or 75 people or 100 people. A large caravan Imam Hussein he had. The closer they were getting to Kufa, the closer and the more news they were getting. Oh, they killed Muslim. Imam Hussein, sorry, we have something, we have to go. Inshallah, we'll see you later. Next manzil, next station. Oh, Hani, they killed Hani ibn Urwa as well. Another group of people left. Next, what happened? Kufa against Imam. group of people. Why? Because they came with Imam Hussein for the sake of money, for the sake of position, for the sake of Hussein is going to go to Kufa, and there's going to be a lot for us if we be with him. Only 72 left for him and with him. Who are these people who left Imam Hussein? In the most important time they left Imam Hussein. Those people with a personality are not a strong personality. Their traits are not positive traits that they have. They didn't follow Imam Hussein with sincerity. You have a lot of other examples. Talha and Zubair, you heard about them, who they were, what they did. Come back to our time. Again, many people might not just be Muslim because of Islam. They found Islam so haq, so true, so follow Islam. They're still Muslim. We respect them, by the way, brothers and sisters. Don't get me wrong. We're Muslim, mashallah, inshallah, ahkam Islam, everything. We're talking about the academic deep discussion. Inshallah, you get my point. We have to analyze this. What happened to Ummah of Islam? How come they killed the son of Rasulullah in the heart of Islam, the territory of Islam, and the companion of Rasulullah are there as well, and nothing happened? They put the head of the son of Rasulullah on his spears, and through the cities, the cities and the alleys of Kufa, the city of Imam Ali, that he was the capital of him. Nothing happened after that. Everybody's all fine. The businesses are there. The shops are open. And families are doing their business. Some people, as we always say, selectively they become Muslim. And then because of that, temporarily they're Muslim. Selectively and temporarily they're Muslim. That's it. This is their whole iman. This is the whole iman that they have, and nothing else. This is what it is. This is what we have to be afraid of. Many people, they followed Rasulullah and they left Rasulullah. What do you mean? I mean, the ayat of Quran that's all about hypocrites and transgressors. What of this? Who are these hypocrites? The companion of Rasulullah, some of them, right? Who are the hypocrites that Islam, Quran is talking about? Some people who were with Rasulullah, but they were hypocrites, lying against Rasulullah. And finally they heard Rasulullah. Finally, they left Islam, or they heard Islam. When it's in the genes and personality of someone, finally would mess up. If you have a friend that they don't have the values, doesn't matter how nice they are today. If something is wrong with their personality, the values, their iman, one time, somewhere they hurt you. I promise you. If they're not in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the iman is not in a good way, once they will hurt you, believe me. Or finally they will hurt you. It's all about this. Some people at that time, because they were afraid of the situation, they left Imam. Some people, because their personality is so weak because of the money, they left Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam. And that's going on and on and on, that we have to pay attention and we have to analyze and assess it, so we get what we're supposed to get from it. Ashra, brothers and sisters, is it's the deep ocean. The more you dive into it, to go further, the more you see, wow, look at this side, look at that side. What can I get from it? It's Quran. When you recite Quran, at the beginning, you get something from it. Wow, mashallah, this ayah is so amazing. When you learn more about the mafahim of Quran, wow, amazing. You study more. Wow, I see this ayahs differently now. You study more. You become a scholar. Wow, you become marja. Wow, then imagine what Imam knows from the Quran. We look at Ashra most of the time as just a simple, ordinary things that happen, a piece of history in the Islam that happens. That's not the whole things. The more you go deeper to see the lessons, that is why Ashra is alive. Because it's not as simple as it looks like. It's deep. Both groups are deep. 30,000 different personality on one side of the Ibn Ziyad's army, and 70-something personality, which is one personality, the personality of Iman on one side. I gave you the example. How come? Let's say, oh, they got affected by each other, the Shuhada of Karbala, they were supporting each other. How about Muslim ibn Aqil? How about children of Muslim? Muslim ibn Aqil was way before Ashura that happened. 9th of the Hajjah to the 10th of Muharram. Almost one whole month. This is a whole month before the Shahada of Imam Hussein. How come Muslims so passionately does exactly what Imam Hussein and companion they do? Exactly hayhat min adh-dhillah, far away from us humiliation. Muslim is practicing the same slogan. Why? One personality. The personality of mu'mineen, religious, pious people. They all have one personality because their well-being, because of their spiritual well-being, is in a good status. Their traits are about bravery, loyalty, all the good traits that you can imagine. They follow those. They practice those. Brothers and sisters, we're so blessed that we know Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam. Put aside the spiritual part, put aside the emotional part, put aside the amazing personality that Imam Hussein is. Look at just the teachings that we can get from the life of Imam Hussein. From all of us, different age groups, different genders, different people, full of lessons for us. If I want to summarize our sessions today, I should look at my personality traits. I should look and see that are my personality traits are close to the traits of the companion of Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam. Oh, God forbid and na'uzu billah, it's opposite, close to the other side. I don't want to be shared with anything that they had, not even a second. The second day of Ashur, the second day of Muharram, brothers and sisters, the caravan of Hussein entered Karbala. If you ask me, that's the beginning of the Masa'ib of Ahlul Bayt. When I'm trying to imagine how it looked like. I'm not just reading from any maqtal or anything. Probably children of Imam Hussein, the little children, Nuqayya, Sakina, 3-year-olds, older ones, younger ones, when they heard that we're going to, with our father, they heard probably they're going to a city. They're going to live in a city by the name Kufa or something or whatever. Imagine when Imam Hussein was forced to go to Karbala. And then Imam says, we're going to stay here. And he asked one of those old guys in there, he says, what is the name of this region? He says, Nainama. And Imam says, Karbun wa Bala. This is the place of calamities, the place of Bala and Musibah. I want you to think about the children of Imam Hussein, those little daughters. Usually they're all around the father all the time. Maybe you have little sisters in the house, little daughters in the house. Imagine they look at Baba. They look at Aunt Zainab. They look at their mother, Rabah brothers. Where is this place? We thought we were going to go to a city, Kufa. Scared. Have you seen little children be scared? Be surprised. This is scary here. We don't want to stay here at night. I'm just saying from my own understanding. We're going to stay here at night. Hussein's enters. They know children, they can feel the feelings of their parents, the feeling of adults around them. If you're stressed, your children will feel it, will sense it. Now we have to stay here. This is the beginning of Masa'ib. Before Hussein comes to Karbala, he said, Hur, stop. Hur ibn Yazid Riyahi stopped the army of Imam Hussein. They were very thirsty. Imam Hussein gave them water. Not even themselves, they give their horses and animals water as well. One of those guys, the army of Hur, says, I came late because I was so tired and thirsty. I couldn't catch up with the army. When I came, I fell down and passed out. Hussein grabbed my head. He gave me water himself. Hussein, what personality you have? What characteristic you have, Hussein? What traits you have that you treat your enemies like that? And you know what they did to you. 3 days, the 7th and 8th and 9th and 10th of Muharram, they banned water against you and from you and your children and your companion. Who are you, Hussein? Where that personality comes from? Or let me go somewhere else. No. Let me go towards Kufa. No. Let me go third place. No. I just figure out, that people of Kufa don't want me. Let me go somewhere else. No, Imam went towards Karbala. And imagine when Imam set up the tents, we're going to stay here. Where are we going to stay? We're going to stay in a desert, in a region, in a land that a few days from that, the children of Hussein would see the head of their father Hussein on his spears. Ruqayya and Sakina and Zainab would see the head of Abbas on his spears. They see the head of the companion, the head of Ali Akbar. According to a tradition, the head of Ali Ashra on his spear, they see that. Oh, what kind of land is that? Oh, what kind of people are there that they can do this bala and this masa'ib to children, innocent people and children in Karbala? This is the entrance of the caravan of Hussein. I want you for a second, brothers and sisters. Think about when Hussein said, this place is Karbala, Nainava, we're gonna stay here. What happened to heart of Zainab? As soon as she heard the name Karbun wa Bala, she heard about this probably her whole life. She heard about Rasulullah. She heard about her father. She heard about her mother Zahra. The moment that she gave that old shirt to her daughter Zainab Jan in Karbala, I'm not there. When Hussein asked you to give him that old shirt, give him. All these things comes in front of the eyes of Zainab. She know that is the last region and land she would see her brother Hussein. Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر الأهد مني لزيارتكم. All together, brothers and sisters, I said that make every single house Husseinian as a Khane Hussein. Raise your voice out loud. Assalamu ala al-Husayn wa ala Ali ibn al-Husayn wa ala أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. One more time. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين. See children of Hussein running away from enemies and say السلام على أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين على لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد وعجل فرجهم. Few dua inshallah before Matam. اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج والعافية والناس ومد في أمره الشريف وزين الأرض بطول بقائه وجعلنا من أعوانه وأنصاره وشيعته. Ya Allah, بحق الحسين hasten in the zuhur of our Imam Mahdi. Let us be among the true followers of our Imam. Do not let us, our generation, anyone from our generation be against the path of Islam and Quran and Ahlul Bayt. Give the hajat of our brothers and sisters and community, those who have problems, provide opportunities for them. Those who are sick, cure them, and those who passed away. Our brother Hashim Jafari and all marhumin and marhumat. Send the thawab and reward from our majalis Rasul, inshaAllah. Rahmallah man yaqra al-Fatihata ma salawat. Ya Hussein, Matama Hussein.
جزاكم الله خيرا. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعل الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي ابن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. عالم أمام استزرق رخسار حسین است. I have my Noha in Farsi, brother and sister. Forgive me, inshallah, if I don't do that in English. But I was informed to do in Farsi, inshallah. عالم امام است از گل رخسار حسین است. ذرات جهان در عجب از کار حسین است. یا حسین یا حسین دانی که چرا خانه حق گشته سیه پوش. دانی که چرا خانه حق گشته سیه پوش. زیرا که خدای تو عزادار حسین است. هر کس به جهان گشته گرفتار نگاری. عمریست که روی دل داده گرفتاری حسین است. حسین جانم حسین جانم حسین جان 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 گلی گم کردم می جویم او را بر گل می رسم می بویم او را حسین جانم حسین جانم حسین جان حسین جانم حسین جانم حسین جان گلی گم کردت خواهر منم من گلی گم کردت خواهر منم من گلی پشمون دت خواهر منم من نشانی را که گفتی جان خواهر بزیری نی زها خواهر منم من حسین جانم حسین جانم حسین جان حسین جانم حسین جانم حسین جان خودم دیدم گلم را سر بریدن خودم دیدم گلم را سر بریدن خودم دیدم اکبرم را کشیدن حسین جانم حسین جانم حسین جان حسین جانم حسین جانم حسین جان عالمم مست از گل رخسار حسین است ذرات جهان در عجب از کار حسین است غریب مظلوم ابی عبدالله الحسین صلوات وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون باسمك العظيم الأعظم الأعز الأجل الأمجد الأكرم وبحق محمد وعلي وفاطمة والحسن والحسين إن شاء الله سلام نامه‌ای که میخوانیم موجب استجابت قبول السلام عليك يا رسول الله السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة نساء العالمين السلام عليك يا سبتي نبي الرحمة والإمام الهدى الحسن والحسين سيدي شباب أهل الجنة أجمعين السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين وعلى أخي الحسين أبا أبي الفضل العباس السلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته السلام عليك يا غريب الغرباء السلام عليك يا معين الضعفاء والفقراء السلام عليك يا سلطان يا أبا الحسن السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته السلام عليك يا صاحب الزمان، السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن، السلام عليك يا إمام الإنس والجان. الأمان 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 من فتن الزمان. أجل الله تعالى فرجك وسحر الله تعالى مخرجك وزورك، وتقبل الله أعمالكم إن شاء الله. صلوات على محمد وعلى آل محمد إن شاء الله. هيك حمد سيقول والله حمد خانم إن شاء الله بأرواح جميع موردها إن شاء الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. اللهم افتح لنا بالخير واختم لنا بالخير، واجعل عواقبنا وعواقب أمور المسلمين الحاضرين الغائبين خيرا. اللهم افتح لنا بالخير واختم لنا بالخير، واجعل عواقبنا وعواقب أمور المسلمين الحاضرين الغائبين الباني خيرا. بر محمد أهل بيت محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. تقبل الله إن شاء الله.